Wow, you wake up this morning and you're like, what is going on right here? Dow down 2.5%, S&P 500 and the Nasdaq down even further. You're wondering what happens here, and I say, well, I don't care that much because I'm just enjoying a nice box of Thin Mints that I purchased. So it is the best Girl Scout cookie, and I don't think you can deny it. But regardless of what's the best cookie or not, which Thin Mints are, what's going on? Why is the market doing this to us? Well, we're going to take a look, and needless to say, as you can see on the bottom of your screen here, let's just take a look at it. That's right, coronavirus fears again, and the reason why you're seeing such a big market outcry this time is because it's actually reaching outside of China. So if this was just a more progressive cases inside of China, then I think we would not have seen that much of a dip down. I really don't, because I think investors already they sold into that. It was already through. But now we have some outside. So there remains a large degree of uncertainty surrounding the virus, and no one knows how this will ultimately play out, says Keith Lerner. He is the chief market strategist at Truist SunTrust Advisory. With stocks and valuations near cycle highs, the risk of worsening virus outbreak has not been priced into the market to a great extent. But, alright, buddy. All right, buddy. I don't like how he's trying to say that this is going to be the next, big plague. It's not. It just frankly isn't. You can chill out, my guy. That's what I could tell you. Yeah, obviously, this has been an issue now, so we're seeing it more around the world. So Italy was certainly a suspect or a poor thing. As a result, you see here auto sectors getting a little bit hammered, as you see more cases in Italy and South Korea. And obviously this is really just to the extent of where do the supplies come from? Well, I think we all know where the supplies are coming from. So the fear here is going to be supply chain and how this could impact that. If people aren't working, if there's any issues, people aren't going to want to buy from these areas. Again, I think supply chain is going to be an issue, and that's why you see these stocks getting absolutely smacked around. Just smacked. If we see some of the major losers at the start of the morning, pretty much, everything's down pretty big around, you can see a lot of things around 4 to 5%. I'm going to make sure that I load up this video right as it's done, because sometimes, who knows, maybe the market, it could just within a day just absolutely blast all the way back up to the moon. It could. That's the kind of market cycle we're living in right now, okay? But you see Virgin Galactic down 10%. Well, we're not shocked about that. Come on now. My baby Plug Power down 10%. That's upsetting. Some other big ones to maybe look at. You see AMD down 9%. Again, that's going to be about supply chain fears. Gosh dang, everything's down. I don't think there's any denying it. Everything is down. Poor Neo. But overall, you're seeing a lot of things down, for sure. And on the winner side, you're going to see the gainers. And before I say this, and I mean, it is probably pretty much the most obvious thing anyone's ever said in their life. The winners are all going to be people that are on track to potentially release or produce a drug to assist in the elimination of the coronavirus. This is the least shocking thing ever. Although you do see a little penny stock here, who went up 6-7% off of a drug test, which makes sense because they always do that. If they have successful tests, these things always shoot up and then they come back down. But you have NNVC working on coronavirus. Oh, and you have Enlevix Therapeutics working on a coronavirus. Huh. Interesting. Now, I will say, Semtrex, you've earned this. Increase in new orders from development of VR and AR applications. Okay, good for them. Good for them. They actually earned this. I'm going to take a look at Semtrex. So look at that. Anything VR related, I'm all in. That's why I love Facebook. Alpha Protech, working on coronavirus. Huh. Oh, Lakeland Industries, working on coronavirus. Oh, Vaxart, working on coronavirus. Co-Diagnostics, working on coronavirus. I mean, do we have to keep going with this? Novavax, working on corona freaking virus. You'll see it all the way down, baby. All of them. That's what's getting these investors hyped. Now, will anyone actually release anything in time to be meaningful? That one will be disclosed at a later date. I guess we will find out. I don't necessarily see that being possible. I think it's just smart for these companies to do it, because if you're one of these companies and you create the drug that helps stop this thing, you are going to the moon. There's no doubt about it. The stock price will go to the moon on whatever company decides to actually find some successful tests on this. But the question is, by the time that we find anything successful, is the coronavirus still even that big of an issue? That's my fear. I personally believe they're not going to have anything out in time before this is really just more of a minor issue. That's my perspective on it. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm a little crazy. But we also have Eriksson saying that for now it's not seeing an impact for the from the coronavirus on the first quarter results, but potentially second quarter. The company does not see a material impact now. Networks head Frederick Jedling. We are closely monitoring this, and if there should be a different message, we will go out as soon as that happens. So he's not seeing an issue because they have a fairly distributed supply chain. That's pretty cool. You gotta love that. You love seeing not that much fear. That's what we want to see. We don't want people to be scared. We see Gilead Sciences up as the World Health Organization official comments that the company's experimental drug may be the best candidate to treat the new coronavirus. Okay. I mean, I've been holding this stock and it's been kind of a dog for me, so I'm just going to tell you, if things go well, I'm not going to be crying, okay? There's no doubt about that. I'll be pretty happy. But what will happen, who knows? So now I'm just going to highlight some stocks that I think are pretty good deals right now that might be worth looking at. So I would say, for sure, I would say take a look at Disney right now. There's no doubt about it. I think Disney at this price drop's looking very good. I also think TD Ameritrade might not be a bad pickup, even though they have an upcoming acquisition by Schwab. But I would say, for sure, Disney. I think Apple stock is finally getting to a place where I like the valuation again. It's back to being not as absurd by any means. I very much like where Apple valuation is at right now. Oh shoot, it just dropped another big chunk. But I like where it's at right now, and I think it's very important. Could be a very good buying opportunity for Apple stock, no doubt about it. I think naturally, as you know, I love to say, Facebook, anything around the 200 range is a steal for this company. I mean, we're talking about forward PE ratios, in the barely 20. I think this is a very good valuation for Facebook, no doubt about it. I like talking about iRobot just because it's down 4%. I think anything around $50 is a good buy for iRobot stock. So, really, hey, look, right around $50. Guess where it's at? Ah, darn it, it just changed. But right around $50. That's what I like to see. We have Tapestry stock, which is one I don't talk about that much. It's one I picked up last year in the middle of the year during a major drop, as you saw here, down to around the 20 range. But we're seeing a big drop today of 7.5%. And a lot of this obviously is because of fear of, again, it's all about supply. It's the same thing you see as Nike dropping quite a bit today. It's where a lot of the stuff is produced. A lot of these clothing brands are produced. That's where you see this drop, but I think it's a good stock just because I'm a huge fan of the dividend yield, and I think overall it'll be a stock that performs just fine over the long term. And finally, I did want to point out Starbucks. I know this bad boy is only down 2.5%, but I do think Starbucks is still a pretty decent buy. I think the valuation's a little bit high, but if you're hunting for a stock that could be good for you, well, I think that's fine with me. So the company, okay. I sorry, saw a BuzzFeed article at the bottom, and it's crazy. I'm sorry. What kind of world are we living in? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. That's what I got to say. Hopefully, we get good stuff coming in the market later this week. I do think we'll have a rebound tomorrow, but obviously for today, we'll see how things go.